sexual being, welcome to another class in this journey. I believe you learned a lot sexually. I believe you are now opened up to yourself. I believe you are now getting self-aware. I believe by now you should have learned how you listen to your body. I believe by now you have your sexual values intact. By now you know what influences your sexual behaviors and how to control yourself. I believe by now you have a better understanding of what body autonomy means, and I also believe that by now you now know how to navigate your spirituality and your sexuality. So far so good. We've learned lots and lots of beautiful and enlightening things. We've learned about different things, and today we are going to be learning about sexual boundaries. Sexual boundaries, like what role does sexual boundaries play in your sexual life? Can married couples also engage in sexual boundaries? Is it just for singles or for married couples? How does it affect your sexual life? How does it affect your sexual relationship and all? Today we are going to be going in depth into sexual boundaries and sexual consent. So once again, I welcome you into today's class. Stay ready to learn. So we're starting with the definition for boundaries. When we say boundary, what do we mean? In simple terms, boundary simply means a line between what is acceptable and what is unacceptable in relationship with others, with romantic and sexual partners, and also with friends, family members, and peers. In simple terms, boundaries is just drafting a line between what is okay and what is not okay, what is normal and what is abnormal, what you will accept and what you will not accept, what is healthy to you and what is not healthy to you. That is what boundary means. And Dr. Kelly says boundaries that are healthy and well communicated can shift over time. This means your boundaries may not always be the same. Like I always say, everybody keeps growing. What you know the last time may not serve you in your next phase. So the boundaries you set this particular time may not necessarily serve you in your next phase. So you want to be very, very patient with yourself. You want to also learn to continually communicate with yourself, continually check out yourself, continually review what your thoughts and your belief system about this particular thing is. So you will know when this is acceptable and when this is not acceptable, so that you know when your boundaries have shifted from something to another thing. So take time to check in with yourself regularly and check the effectiveness of your boundaries in alignment to your current circumstances. There are two types of boundaries relating to sex. We have two types of boundaries relating to sex. Number one, we have the implicit and we have the explicit. Now, what does it mean to set implicit boundaries? What does implicit boundaries mean? And what does explicit boundary means? Implicit boundaries is related to human rights, legal rights, and their acceptable codes of socialization. So implicit boundaries is just something you set with every other person around you, and it has legal rights. It is related to human rights and their acceptable codes of socialization. So it is simply with these boundaries you set with those in your environment and all. While explicit boundaries is clearly and directly communicated with a partner. So explicit boundary is clearly and directly communicated with a partner. It is personal to you and it is chosen based on your own preferences, and it is supposed to be openly discussed and clearly stated. So when you set boundaries, sexual boundaries with a partner, it is clearly and directly communicated. Like it should be clearly and directly communicated. You shouldn't be saying things, saying it shouldn't be too ambiguous. You shouldn't say too many things and you're not making sense. So your boundaries with your partner should be clearly stated and openly discussed, and you shouldn't come off as arrogant, you shouldn't come off as selfish. No, it should be a discussion. You don't just come like, this is what I want. No, 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 no. You discuss with your partner in the most loving way. Another thing I want us to know about boundaries is that boundaries is all about how people touch your body, how people see your body, how people treat you in sexual situations, and what you are comfortable doing to others. So your boundaries is all about how people touch your body, how people see your body, how people treat you in sexual situations, and what you are comfortable doing to others. And You are free. You have the right to set boundaries for your sexual life. You are free. You are free. You have that right. You have that responsibility. You need to be that intentional about your sexuality to be able to set boundaries with people around you, and most importantly, your partner. Because setting boundaries is first for your well-being. First for your well-being. You want to set boundaries that speaks to your sanity, that speaks to your sexual health, that speaks to your sexual power. And when something doesn't feel right to you, you talk. When you don't feel comfortable about something, you talk. When you are just not into it, you shouldn't be pressured to be a part of it. So another way you have influence and power over your sexual life is when you set boundaries. If you are not comfortable, make your voice heard. If you are not into it, say something. If it doesn't feel right to you, put yourself as a priority. Put yourself as a priority, because at the end of the day, the things we end up ignoring becomes the things that really cause issues in relationship. So if you feel and you know that this particular thing is not my thing, be free. Be free to come bold about it and say that no, I'm not comfortable with this. This doesn't make me feel right. Like I am pressured to, and you shouldn't be pressured to do anything sexually. You shouldn't be pressured to do anything sexually. And another thing I want you to know, as a sexual being, your well-being is non-negotiable. As a sexual being, your well-being is non-negotiable, because it speaks to your physical health, it speaks to your sexual health, it speaks to your emotional health, to every areas of your life, to how you relate with people and all that. So your well-being is non-negotiable. You must be invested in your sexual health. You must be invested in your sexual sanity. You must be invested in who you are as a sexual being. And setting boundaries aren't a form of punishment. When you set boundaries, you're not trying to punish your partner or punish yourself. They are designed to keep you safe from emotional or physical harm. So boundaries are not a form of punishment. No, they are designed to keep you safe from emotional or physical harm. And we have good sexual boundaries and poor sexual boundaries. Now, examples of good sexual boundaries: when you negotiate when, where, how often you both want to have sex. Remember, I said boundaries is first about communication. You must be able to communicate openly and clearly state what your boundaries are. So when you're able to negotiate when, where, and how you both want to have sex, and when you put priorities on your sexual health, those are good sexual boundaries. Those are good sexual boundaries, because you really don't want to engage in something that will put you on the negative side. It is when you engage in something and the result of that thing is a negative result, it is not worth it. It is not worth, because in the long run it is going to affect you. So you don't want to put yourself in that situation. You don't want to expose yourself to that way of life. If the result of a thing is going to be a negative result, just back off. Just back off. No matter how much you think you love the person, you need to love yourself first before you are able to love someone else. So if you don't love yourself enough to set boundaries for yourself, how will you love your partner? How will you love your partner? I know people hate themselves. Like on the very, I just realized it recently that people actually hate themselves. Because if you love yourself, there are some situations you would not want to put yourself in at all. So that's for that. So we have good sexual boundaries, like I said, and poor sexual boundaries. So examples of poor, what does a poor sexual boundary look like? When you are insisting or you are shaming someone into having sex when they are not in the mood. When you are insisting and shaming someone into having sex when they are not in the mood, that is a poor sexual boundary. Like, you already set a sexual boundary, but that person is not respecting your sexual boundary. That means it is not clearly stated, and that person still feels they have power over what you do sexually. Another thing is doing something sexually with your partner that you simply don't want to do, but you are afraid to say no. As a sexual being, you must be ready to say no. You must be affirmative in saying no. Like, you must be bold in saying no. You should be confident in saying no, because obviously you cannot be saying yes to everything. No, you can't. You can't be saying yes to every sexual thoughts, to every sexual decisions, to every sexual conversations, to every sexual activity. There are times when you say no and it is okay. There are times when you say no and it is very, very okay. You have the right to say no, irrespective of who is asking. Because it is first about your sexual health before your partner's pleasure. Yeah, it is first about your sexual health before your partner's pleasure. So there are times when you say no and mean that no, because it is going to be a negative, because it's going to produce a negative result in your life. Say no. Say no. Say no. Examples of sexual boundaries that you can set. Examples of sexual boundaries that you can set. Number one, STIs and family planning. Okay, yes, you have a partner already. In a generation where everyone now considers cheating as a normal thing, you want to set boundaries with your partner. Don't go out there and bring STI to me. No, I will not accept it. You want to talk about it. You want to talk about family planning. And I get annoyed when I see adults, like full grown adults, say, uh, myself and my partner, when should we start talking about sex? Like, are you kidding me? Like, are you really, really serious? Are you serious that you still do not have a say about your sexuality? Now that you have to ask someone else that when should yourself and your partner start talking about sex? Are you that irresponsible? Are you that ignorant? Are you that careless? Are you that careless? And to not make it more ridiculous, the motive behind that question is not even about their sexual health. It's actually about what they will do sexually and not who they are sexually, or the values they believe in sexually. Most times when they ask questions like that, it is basically about sex positions and every other thing that comes with intercourse. Basic family planning conversation. Some people don't know how to engage in it. Some people do not know how to engage in it. Like, if it is bothersome. It is bothersome. Like, are you really serious? Are you really serious now? Like, full grown adults still asking someone, when should myself and my partner start having this conversation about sex? No, don't have that conversation. Wait till your wedding night. It is not that time that you people will now have that conversation. God will now help you. The man will now say, oh, I'm sorry, but I don't do vasectomy. I don't do vasectomy. You are going to continue taking chemicals into your body, all in the name of birth control. Conversation that you should have engaged in before the wedding, and settle certain issues regarding to your sexual health and every other thing. But no, you are shy. No, your pastor say, no, your mentor say that when it comes to sex, you block your ear until you are married. Like, seriously. Like, how old are you again? How old did you say you are? God will help us. Another thing you want to set boundaries on is autonomy and individuality. As a sexual being, even if you have a partner, you are your own person. You are your own person. If you are not into anal sex and your partner is into anal sex, you both of you should talk about, oh, I'm sorry, I don't do anal sex. It is first your sexual health before your partner's pleasure. It is first your sexual health before your partner's pleasure, before your partner's desires. If the result of a sexual activity will put you on a negative side, my dear, shut it down. You don't need to engage in it. Shut it down. Another thing you want to set boundaries on is consent. Consent. There is this idea that committed relationship equates to having full access to our partner's body whenever we want. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes. Even the Bible. When people read the Bible, there's this part of the Bible that says the man owns the woman's body and the woman owns the man's body. Am I saying that is wrong? No. No, it is not about, even you as a person, you want to be intentional about your partner's sexual health. You want to love your partner enough to know when your partner is fully in the mood to engage in a sexual activity or not. Yes, the Bible says you own your partner's body. But what if after a sexual activity, your partner is going to be exposed to negative results? Do you want to really do that? Do you love your partner enough when you engage in stuff like that? No. No, you don't. So even if there's this belief that your partner's body is your body and all that, you as a partner you really want to put your partner's sexual health first. You really want to put your partner's sexual health first before your own sexual pleasures, before your sexual desires. The truth is that your partner is still allowed to say no, because your partner is a human being. Your partner has the right to, your partner has sexual rights. Your partner has fundamental human rights. So your partner still has the full, she has the right, he or she has the right to say, no, I'm not doing this. No, I'm not comfortable with this. No, this will land me in an hospital. No, this will tell on my health in negative ways. No, this is not good for my emotional health. No, this is not good for my mental health. Right? And as a partner, you really want to put your partner's sexual health first before your sexual desire, before your sexual pleasure. That is it. In marriage, you serve each other. You serve each other's desire. In marriage, it's not your desire first. No, it is not. Before you engage in anything, before you bring up anything, you want to be sure that your partner will fully consent to it. No one owns anything. No one owns anything. No one. You are serving each other. You're not like, I own your body. No, you are serving your partner's body. And that is a brilliant way to live life with your partner. So your partner shouldn't be forced into doing anything. So like I said earlier, to engage, to set sexual boundaries, you really want to communicate. And of course, you don't want to engage in to nag. You don't want to engage in unhealthy communication patterns. Like your partner just came from a tedious job and you just come and say, oh, we need to talk. No. You want to make sure that the atmosphere is well convenient for that kind of conversation, and it should be in the most loving way. And both of you should discuss, okay, we can compromise on this. Okay, oh no, this is a bold no. Okay, this we can do this. I can still say yes. I can still permit this. You want to engage in compromise. You want to openly communicate. And even at that, maybe every 2 weeks or monthly, you can engage in checkups. Okay, how far are we doing well in this area? Are we still following these boundaries? Are we obeying it, or have we drifted away from it? You want to reset, you want to change, you also want to set new boundaries. Okay, we've passed this stage, let us set new boundaries for our next phase. So these are the things you want to engage in to make sure that the boundaries you are setting is not putting yourself and your partner apart, but rather bringing you closer to serve each other better in your sexual life. So briefly moving into consent. What is consent? What is consent? Consent is actively agreeing to participate in a sexual activity with someone. Actively agreeing. You are actively, emphasis on the word actively. You are actively agreeing to participate in a sexual activity with someone. Consenting and asking for consent are all about setting your personal boundaries and respecting those of your partner. So when it comes to boundaries, they are not the only one setting boundaries. Your partner too is permitted to set boundaries, and you are to also respect and obey and live by the boundaries that your partner have set. So you want to set your personal boundaries and respect those of your partner, and checking in if they aren't clear enough. Both of you must agree every single time for it to be consensual. Any sexual activity you want to engage in, both of you must agree every single time. Don't say, oh, but you accepted yesterday, but you also tired yesterday and you told me yes, so you're also tired, so you will still be able to tell me yes. No, you need to always seek for consent every single time for it to be consensual. And seeking for consent doesn't have to be a boss and slave thing or a master and servant thing. No, because now I started saying you seek for consent to actually like, people have different kind of mindset. The fact that you're seeking for consent from your partner doesn't necessarily mean it should be all about rules and regulations. Are we having sex today or not? No, it shouldn't be like that. No, it should not be like that. It shouldn't be like that. You guys know how you communicate with yourself, so I believe you should be able to bring that into seeking for consent. And not, it shouldn't be okay. Well, it shouldn't even be obvious that you're actually seeking for consent. It should not be. You can be that close enough, you can be that intimate enough that an eye contact should be able to just pass the message. A body language should be able to pass the message and all that. So without consent, sexual activity, sexual assault, or a quick one can couples rape each other? Yes, they can. Can married couples rape each other? Yes, they can. Yes, they can. So without consent, sexual activity is sexual assault or rape. So when it comes to sexual consent, it must be freely given. Your partner shouldn't be forced or coerced or threatened into giving you a consent, and it should be reversible. Okay, yes, I said yes, but during the course of the activity, I was no longer feeling comfortable. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm no longer doing this. Yeah, sexual consent should be reversible. It should be reversible. Another thing is it should be informed. You want to accept a consent with informed decisions. Okay, this is what this is all about. Okay, I think I can do it. You want to know the rudiment about everything on that. Another thing is enthusiastic. You want to be really eager. Oh wow, okay, this sounds exciting. Let's try it. Another thing is it must be specific. Your sexual consent, not that you are seeking consent for this and along the line you are not doing another thing. No, that is very, very wrong. If you said you want to do A, don't skip to B, don't skip to C, stick to that A that you said you want to do. So sexual consent is actively agreeing to participate in a sexual activity with someone, and there should be sexual consent for any kind of sexual activity. To the simplest kiss, seek consent before you kiss your partner. Are you okay? Can I kiss you? Can I hold your hands? Can I hold your waist? Can I hug you? Yes, you should. You should. You should. Another thing you also want to seek consent for is seek consent is also needed for married couples. Like I said that earlier already. Married couples also should seek consent from each other. And like I said, it doesn't have to be rules and regulation. It doesn't have to be strict. It doesn't have to be master slave thing. And also consent can be withdrawn even after initial consent has been given. Yes, your consent can be reversible. And when he or she says, "Oh, I'm not doing this again," accept it and back up. Another thing about consent is flirting, provocative behavior, or revealing clothing are not signs of consent. Oh, she came to my house putting on a short skirt. That does not mean she wants to have sex with you. Even if that is what she has in her mind, be responsible enough to know that that is not consent. Be responsible enough to know that. Don't say, "Oh, our cleavages are in my faces, so I want to do this." Be responsible enough to know that this is not. Provocative behavior, revealing clothes, and flirting are not signs of consent. Another thing is accepting money gifts cannot be considered as consent. Oh, I sent 100,000 to her account, so she should come to my house and repay me. No, no, that she collected your money does not mean she wants to be on your bed. So accepting money or gifts cannot be considered consent. And parents, guardians, next of kin cannot give consent on behalf of someone. Oh, your partner already told me this. Oh, no. Parents, guardians cannot give consent on behalf of someone. Another thing is consent obtained after threatening a person is not considered valid. After you've threatened someone and the person now under pressure say, okay, yes, no, that consent is not consenting. It is not valid. It is not valid. Another thing also is gestures or body language alone cannot be taken as valid consent for sexual activity. Gestures or body language alone cannot be taken as valid consent for sexual activity. And do you know that okay, obviously, like I said, without consent sexual activity is considered assault or rape, and it is punishable by law. It is when you do not obey something, when you go ahead even after when that person did not give you a consent, it is punishable by law. It is punishable by law. And we also have verbal and non-verbal sexual consent, and we have non-verbal sexual consent and non-verbal non-sexual consent. And one example is an active body, like when you are doing sexual stuff to your partner and your partner is responding well and also serving your body, ministering to your body sexually. That can also be a form of non-verbal sexual consent. But when you are doing sexual things to your partner's body, and your partner is just laying there, you want to stop and check what is happening. Are you in this or not? Are you doing this or not? Another thing is when you are engaging in sexual activity with your partner and there's this sound of enjoyment, like There are musics everywhere, there are voices everywhere, there are tempos everywhere, signaling that this person is enjoying what you are doing to their body. That can also be a form of sexual consent, non-verbal sexual consent. But when you are doing sexual things that they should be enjoying, but they're just silent, you should know that, oh no, no, she's not there, he's not there, and all that. Another form of non-verbal consent is direct eye contact. Just like when you want to kiss your partner and both of them are looking into each other's eyes and doing stuff. Like, okay, you know that, okay, this person is actually interested. But when you're looking at each other's eyes and that person doesn't, please, like, no. You know that, okay, the eye contact is not there. Another thing is initiating sexual activity. So when your partner initiates sexual activity and if you're in the mood, it's okay. That is a form of non-verbal sexual activity. But when when the person is not initiating sexual activity, when your partner is not initiating any sexual activity, just know that, okay, they are the meet out, they. Another form of non-verbal sexual consent is moving closer. Moving closer. Obviously, I don't need to explain. And when your partner is not moving closer, like you're moving closer, you're moving far away. You're moving closer, they're moving away from you. You're not okay. Not today. Devil, not today. I didn't say that. Not today. So another thing is actively touching. So another non-verbal consent is actively touching. When you're touching each other and all that, like, But when you're touching and your partner just say, well, familiar. You know that, okay, that kilo ṣẹlẹ̀ fi mí lẹ̀ mo ní kò fi mí sílẹ̀ Yorùbá mo fi mo ní kò fi mí sílẹ̀ má fọwọ́ kàn mí má fọwọ́ kàn lọ sọ yẹn. So another thing is when you are doing things to your partner is nodding in affirmative way. Okay, you can go ahead. But when you are doing things like no, okay. Another non-verbal consent is when you are doing things when you are together and your partner is laughing and smiling. Okay, fine, she's okay, it's okay. But when you are doing things and your partner they're crying or feeling shy or looking sad, looking fearful, you really want to reconsider. And another thing is open body language. Open body language. When you are together intimately and their body language just signifies openness. They are open to you, they are open to receiving touches from you, they are open to what you are doing to their bodies and all that. That is a non-verbal sexual consent. But when you're together and there's this rigidness in their body, like they're stiff and all that, they are tense, they are closed, just like, oh, okay, not today, not today. I believe you've learned a lot about sexual boundaries and sexual consent. Remember, sexual boundaries are not a form of punishment. They are designed to keep you safe. Sexual boundaries are not a form of punishment. They are designed to keep you safe from emotional and physical harm. I believe you've learned something today, and I want to believe that you really enjoyed this class. Do well to write back to me. Follow us on our social media channels, Orgasm Reform Institute. Subscribe to my newsletter using the link in the description box. Write to me. I can't wait to hear from you again till I come your way in the next class. Bye.